Today, I'm going to share with you 4 ways that you can use this 1111 energy to galactivate your heart consciousness here on the 1111 portal of 2019. Let's go! Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I'm a twin flame expert helping twin flames around the globe phase spheres, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Welcome to my weekly glow show. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 1111 portal here in 2019. This is a profound time in history, really. We've been working so hard to release the lower vibrations, to connect to a higher version of ourselves. And this portal is about doing just that. It's about integrating that new identity that you've been leading up to. And so today I want to basically share with you 4 things that you can use during this energy, this portal of energy, that will help you make this connection, basically going to the next level, because this is also a gateway to 2020, connecting us to basically a new decade. Means that we've perfectly, universally came into closure of the past. And that's not to say that we won't still have things to work through, to process, to integrate, but we no longer have to do it with the old habits, the old patterns, and carry out all of the old traditions and the patriarchs and the programming and subconscious conditioning that we've experienced, or the karma. Because what this is ultimately about, it's about bringing balance to your karma. So 1111, I want to talk to you about the numerology and how it connects to balance and how that relates to what you're going through here. So we have the 1111, and then this also happens to be a 1 year. So that creates a 5. So first of all, 1111, the left side of the 11 represents the masculine and the feminine energy within the feminine counterpart. The right side represents the masculine and the feminine energy coming into balance within the masculine counterpart. When you bring the 2 together, that's bringing balance within the union of 2 people, twin flames also, so to speak, in this particular case. And so if you were to take just the 1111, that represents, like in numerology, 1 and 1 is 2, 1 and 1 is 2, basically. So it comes together being a 22, and 22 represents balance. This particular year, 2019, if you break that down, basically and just say 19, that is a 1. So that technically becomes 1111 1. And that creates a 5, which is creation, which is magic, which is you are the alchemist of your own life. And so this portal is about you becoming the alchemist of love, of your life, of yourself. So it boils down to, what do you want to create in the new decade, the new beginning, the new universal timeline? And you know, how I've talked about this so much about what do you desire, but I want to kind of share with you 4 things that you can do during this portal of energy, this gateway towards this completion of the past and the welcoming of this new beginning, that can help you bring into form the galactivation. So when I say galactivation, it's like a download of the activated energy that's activating you, activating your light body, activating your soul, activating your heart, activating your mind, body, soul, heart, and spirit, all in a way that unlocks that hidden power, that hidden potential in you. So to do that, one of the first things you need to focus on in this energy is creating harmony from the inside out. And that means creating balance within you that can then help align you and align everything out around you in alignment with you. So you need to focus on things that's going to bring you in alignment with your truth, with your, and with the truth, basically looking at that from what are the belief systems that I have taken on from my parents, my upbringing as far as my childhood development. What are the things I've taken on in this life that don't belong to me anymore? What in those situations have I carried as a repeated pattern in not, in all of my relationships, and especially like with your twin flame as well? And how can you now break those patterns of action, identify what it is or the wounds of your past that can, to let them go, and making sure that in the process of that you can focus forward in a place of making a conscious decision to do so from a place of more of ease and grace, and allowing a more of your feminine side, so that you're coming into balance with your masculine energy and your feminine energy, your higher self and your lower self, integrating that light and that wisdom and that truth and that knowledge, and then being able to bring some harmony in between, your logic and reasoning, and then your ability to know. And, in this also that calls for trusting this process, that calls for believing in yourself, believing in your journey, believing in your spiritual gifts, and believing in the idea really that even this journey is real, instead of because it hasn't unfolded in the way you think it should or in the time you think it should, it doesn't mean it's not valid or it's not real or it's not happening, because it's the unfolding process that becomes the grace and the beauty of this, that creates that grace and harmony and harmonizing from the inside out. Everyone I've been working with is really working on harmony right now, working on the harmonization of their self. Some are with union, some are with parents. Like, it's bringing harmony and balance to you and everything around you. And that means if you have not got into alignment with certain aspects of that truth to bring you into alignment with your highest good, then the things around you are going to fall away. Jobs, people, you will be put in positions that forces you to go deeper within, to illuminate your shadows so that you can do a little bit more work with that. And that moves me into the second one. We have to elevate and expand. We are being asked to elevate and expand versus repeating the old patterns. So that means when these, we're in Scorpio energy through this, and that says we're going to go really deep into the shadows and illuminate those spots that are so deep, that the hidden truths, the hidden power, the hidden sides of ourselves, like the parts of us that are maybe our dark side that we haven't claimed yet, that we haven't connected to yet, that we haven't integrated with yet, so that we can find all of ourselves, so we can then go to the next level. And every time you go to a new level and create expansion, the way you get there is through the pulling back, going in to create the momentum to shoot further, faster, farther, to be able to really deliver, unlock that which you've not been willing to see up to this point. So another thing I've been seeing in that is so many people are trying to repeat the old patterns, repeat the old programs. And in doing this, one of the biggest ways I'm seeing this happen is it's this, we're talking about recreating a new identity here. And in that, we're trying to basically, use our own old skills, our old ways of doing things, our old habits, and thinking that we can use and implement what we've done in the past, and it's not working because you're trying to find a part of you that doesn't exist anymore. You will never get back to that person or that what you were, and you can only then look at this new area of where you're at and look at what's working now. It's going to call for a different action that creates different experiences that then is potentially creating you, maybe in this expansion to implement new habits and do things that feel uncomfortable because you're having to learn things from a higher perspective and you're having to practice something new. Anytime we've been used to doing something one way and then we're asked to do it another way, it takes extra time, it takes extra thought, it takes extra energy. And so instead of just falling into the cycle of just the repetitious old ways of running on autopilot, this is going to be about doing some implementation of things that can help you elevate and expand to the next level, which is going to call for you being able to have to take a step back and look within and see what is it that you can do to take a new action, to create a new habit, to identify, reprogram old habits or old programs that we've been using. That's the only way you're going to break the cycle, is to identify, be willing to say yes, take the time to learn a new way to do it that will take you to the next level so you can expand into the new version of you. While doing so, that's going to continue with number one, bringing more harmony and balance in your life within. That's going to bring balance around you and your life. And then I kind of already set you up for this, but the third one is integrating with the new identity that you've been creating. And that is honoring this new version of you. So many people have stepped into a new identity already, or in the transition, or they're in this separation between the old and the new, and they're not sure, who am I? What are my beliefs? What am I doing? What's next? How do I do that if I'm, like say for instance, purpose, and you know that maybe you want to move in some direction and you're not even sure how, but you maybe feel like a direction coming, but you don't know how to make it happen. And the thing is, you don't have to figure out how to make it happen. You only need to know what is your why you want to make it happen. What's going to ignite the power in you? What's going to give you passion? What's going to make you feel purposeful? What's going to give you fulfillment? What's going to help to give you power and every moment to connect to the inner depths of you that keeps you empowered, that you're living out your truth and that new identity as you become and learn to let go enough to be open with it, more raw, more vulnerable, bringing in your feminine qualities that you're, so many of us divine feminine have been so masculine oriented from a place of drive and control and being the fixer. And then how can we now let go of taking on the energy of other people and trying to, even from a place of love, over protect them versus learning how to let them learn their lesson and learning how to put up your own guard to protect your own energy and take your power back from that you aren't becoming their mother or their fixer. Or, a lot of times I've heard this from a lot of the divine masculine twin flames is that, she feels like my mother because she's trying to fix me and she's trying to send me different information that, is going to be the tools that I need to learn for my own personal development. But I have seen a lot of divine masculine look at that from a place of it being overbearing and that they want to create their own identity in this. They want to unlock who they are. They don't want to take on, just because it worked for you to go through your ascension process one way, and a place of it took certain tools or certain lessons or certain things that you utilize that help you advance, or maybe it's like what gave your aha moments that was really clicked. They don't get it that way. They don't see it that way. They need to discover their own. So I feel like the reason this is coming through like this is because a lot of the Divine Feminine have been spending a lot of time creating this new identity for themselves. So the Divine Masculine is really starting to integrate that identity of their own truth and power. So as we go forward into this new beginning, that we're bringing harmony and balance to the masculine and the feminine energies within the identities of the 11 and 11s, between the masculine and the feminine. And so that way we can move into the fourth one that's really coming, that's really big for 2020, is being able to experience intimacy from a very deep, authentic, real, and pleasurable place of being able to let go of like shame and guilt that's linked around sexuality or sexual experiences or sexual pleasure, and that we can tap into this intimate place within ourselves so that we can live out this truth and this power from a very feminine, creative goddess way, and that we are that goddess of love, and that we can let our goddess flow. And see, here's the thing I want to share with you from the archetypes of the feminine energy. We have I'm going to start with the maiden. It starts like more in the princess of that little girl phase, but then we go into the maiden with the passion. We go into the mother of being able to give birth to things and connect to that, the crone with all the wisdom. And then when we collect these pieces, then we become into this place of empowerment, so to speak. And I should say we're taking back our power. We're still somewhat in control, but we move into our queenhood, of where we demand respect. We demand being able to be viewed as worthy of receiving and being assisted. But then when we fully move into our expression of that, and we are fully in full empowerment, embracing that, we step into our high priestess energy, the high priestess of this love and intimacy. And then as we move forward out of that, and we learn how to really start to let go and come into the embodiment of flow, now we're going into the balance of our masculine and our feminine, of basically our high priest within and our high priestess within, and we are living out our truth and we're living out our power. We're doing it with grace, and it's becoming at a place of this free flowing goddess energy that allows us to then, in that intimate connection, create a connection with our heart in a deeper way, to then, as we kind of link this full circle with the harmony inside out, we're also changing the consciousness of the collective, because when we find balance in ourselves, we're finding balance in the collective, and we're finding balance in the universal timeline of the universal energies that is then supporting the cosmic heart, the cosmic grid of this unconditional love vibration that we're creating within ourselves, of more fulfillment and more desire and more truth and more power and more connection, as we continue to elevate through this expansion and let go of the repeated patterns that it takes as we go through our archetypes and elevate up into the higher versions of ourselves. And the higher we get within that, the more we tap into our wisdom, the more we tap into our truth, the more we then align with our soul's destiny, our soul's connection, our soul's rewards that we signed up to experience in this ascension process. And I will share with you a book, because during this timeline of this 1111 portal, I keep seeing Jesus and Mary Magdalene coming through over and over. And this book came through, this book of the Eternal Heart of Love. All right. And so This is as revealed by Yeshua through Yale and Doug Powell in this volume 1. I want you to know that a twin flame couple that I met locally that were having some issues and coming into harmony and needing to do a little bit more purge. It just so happened that my path crossed them at the same time they were going through this, and through the connection of that, they managed to elevate and expand themselves to come into this integration of their own identities, their own truth and power. They've created that harmony inside out, and they've brought this full circle, experiencing this intimacy within themselves and within then their union. And they shared this book with me because they invited me to their house a couple weekends ago. And they're such a beautiful couple. I'm actually going to be interviewing them sometime soon. Their love just grazes me, and the beauty of it, like, it's just so like amazing. You're going to love them when you meet them. But they shared this story with me, how they were reading this book, and how in this book is a masculine version and a feminine version. And I will put a link below to the book for you, and how they're reading this book together as they have come through this portal of energy that I'm talking about, creating the balance inside out, elevating, expanding themselves, letting go of their old patterns, integrating their new identities, stepping into their truth and their power. And now they're experiencing the intimacy where they're sharing their life together. They live together now. They've been married in sacred, but in like by spirit. And they're sharing the intimacy through this book right now, reading it as there's the part of the divine masculine written here and the part of the divine feminine written. And when it comes to the masculine version, he's reading his part, and the feminine version, she's reading her part. And they actually are friends with the authors here, but the female author passed away, and the divine masculine is here. So when I interview them, she's already connected and wants me to interview and connect with the divine masculine here that wrote this book with his divine counterpart. So I don't know when this is coming. I know she mentioned about a weekend getaway just like a few days ago, and I don't know when it's going to align, but I know when it is, it will be perfect. So you will find that coming. But basically, in this scenario, and I didn't even know this was coming through like this, but basically in this activation that's coming through this gateway with this completion and this new beginning, is giving us this opportunity to experience this balance and harmony from our inside out, to align with more that is within our life, to elevate and expand ourselves. So we let go of all the patterns that's been holding us back, so we can integrate with our new identity, the new birth, the new earth, the new life, the new love, and full truth and power within ourselves, so we can then experience what we signed up for, and that's the intimate depths of the eternal heart of love that comes through the grace of the twin flame love. That technically the only way you experience that with anyone is to find it within yourself first. And the minute you connect with that eternal love within you, then you can align and come into balance with your divine counterpart of whoever your highest vibration is in this lifetime. And to believe that that exists, to trust that process and trust that it can and will happen. And again, this is a 5-month or 5 number for 1111. What do you want? What do you desire? Use this energy to galactivate your universal heart consciousness, to connect with you and your desires, that elevates you into this higher version of you, so you can integrate with that new identity and then experience the love from that place going forward in 2020. So think of this as your new year, already starting off and kickstarting it from the way you want your new life to be for the next decade, because we're going into a new decade, and it's the foundation of creating the real version of who you are, what you want, and going out and living it. Okay, so thank you so much for showing up, and be sure to subscribe, especially if you're new to my channel. Hit the notification button. Make sure you also check out all the ways you can glow forward with me. And my newest program, the Reprogram Your Childhood Wounds, is still available down in a link below. I'm still working on the parts of it. And I do want to say something, that when I offered that Halloween 31 code to get that at a discounted price last week because of Halloween, there was a glitch in it for the first 24 hours almost, because somehow it didn't activate properly. So I'm going to put that code below again. I'm going to leave that code open again, because I know there was potentially some people that wanted to do that missed it because the code wasn't working. And I will leave that available for you. And I'll make that part of then this 1111 portal. And that way you can, if you're wanting to be able to create more balance within, and you're wanting to change your relationships with others, it starts with healing those wounds potentially of this lifetime, so that you can connect to more of your own truth, your own identity, your own belief systems. And this program is going to really help you do that, so that you can integrate your new identity, and that you can create intimacy, which is a part of that program, of being able to then attract partners and people in your life that represent the new version of you, of your highest version of you, rather than attracting people that are going to continue to trigger your childhood wounds and create more pain, in order to wake you up to go through to the higher elevated version of you, so you can then connect to that higher version and new identity. Okay, so happy 1111 portal. I'm sending you all so much love. This energy is just such a flow, balance, harmony, grace, ease. Be sure that you like and comment and share the shine below. And please let me know if you have questions in regards to anything to do with the new program that I've created. If you have other things you need to release, I have other programs and free resources that you can check out below that can help you as well through this portal. Make sure that you also do potentially a activation that will galactivate you into the higher dimension during this timeline, so that you can upgrade your energy and activate your soul's blueprint going forward. And that way you do create more balance. Okay, I'll see you next week, and may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.